Hey, what's going on, Fragrance family? This is Tyler, Simply Fragrances, and today's video is brought to you by you guys. That's right. I did a little community tab section where I asked you guys for fragrances that, I've recommended that you guys picked up and actually worked out for you. So if you want to see what fragrances I recommended that you actually liked, be sure and keep it right here. Hey, welcome back, guys. Like I said, my name is Tyler. This is my channel, Simply Fragrances, where we talk everything fragrance related. If this is your first time, welcome. We are now family. Be sure and hit that red subscribe button. I would really appreciate that. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for the love and support you've shown this channel. So, like I said, guys, I got this idea from George, the Fragrance Apprentice, so I cannot take credit for this. Shout out to him for, maybe pioneering this. But I like the idea so much that I reached out to you guys and asked for the fragrances that I recommended that actually turned out to work for you guys. So thought this was a really cool process because, I'm up here, we all have different tastes, we all have different styles, smells are subjective, and so it's kind of cool whenever I can suggest something and you guys, wind up really liking it. So, that's just a cool thing on my part that, makes me feel good, makes me, know that I'm suggesting stuff that you guys like. So anyways, without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and get into the first fragrance. Alright guys, so the first fragrance that I've suggested, put in a video, and recommended to you actually comes from my boy Brian over at Bearded and Winning. If you guys haven't checked him out, go check his Instagram out. He's got a lot of really good posts and beard oils. If you guys like beard products, he's definitely the guy to go to. But he reached out to me and we were talking, and I wound up sending him a sample. He sent me some samples of some other things, and this right here, this is Saubon from Bond number 9, and I've put a pretty big dent into it, but he heard me talking about it and really wanted to try it, so I sent him a little sample of it, and this is actually one of his favorite fragrances in his collection. At least that's what he claims, so I'm taking him for his word, and that just makes me feel really good. One, because this is an awesome fragrance. So think of a green Irish tweed, or if you haven't spelled that, Zaharoff cool water, something in that aspect, but it's a bit more smooth and creamy. There's beautiful tea note in here, there's violet in here. It just gives it this beautiful, relaxing, just musky yet citrusy, sweet, woody, creamy kind of a facet to this fragrance, and it's absolutely phenomenal. It's actually very sneaky strong, so no more than 5 sprays. It sounds crazy for it being a more fresh, kind of tart style of fragrance in the opening, but this stuff is pretty darn strong, guys. I went with, I think, 5 or 6 sprays one time, and I wound up choking everyone in the room out around me. So this stuff is pretty strong, so you don't have to spray that much, even though you might think you might have to, just because of it being more of a kind of fresher style fragrance. But anyways, this one right here, guys, I highly recommend, especially if you're a fan of the green Irish tweed or cool water. I definitely think this is something that you would be right up your alley. So if you haven't checked this out, guys, based off my recommendation and what Brian has said, this is definitely something to get. Alright guys, so the next suggestion, or I guess next recommendation that I recommended that someone picked up and they really liked it, comes from my buddy Carlos. He's got a couple on there, so I'll do a couple from his list. But this is actually pretty unique because I didn't think that, something like this would, wind up working out for a lot of people. This is a very polarizing fragrance, but for me, it wound up working out, and for Carlos, it did as well. This is Versace, and this is Versace's The Dreamer. This is a very unique kind of citrusy, take on a tobacco leaf fragrance. So you get this beautiful kind of wet leaf tobacco with this beautiful citrus in the opening, and it's very unique. Nothing really quite smells like it. It's very polarizing. I do find it's either a love or a hate. There's not too many people that are just like, yeah, I'm okay with it. It's more or less, yeah, I really like this, or it's kind of like, it's not really for me. But for Carlos and for myself, this does work. So, take it from me, take it from him, pick it up. You might wind up liking it. It's pretty cheap. I think I got it for like 35-ish, maybe $40, somewhere in there at Ross's. You can still, probably find it even cheaper on discounted sites with, different coupon codes and stuff like that. And, all of the discounted sites are linked in the description below, so be sure and go check them out. But yeah, guys, if you want just a kind of a different, more elegant, kind of powdery, citrusy take on a tobacco fragrance, this is something I definitely. All right, guys, so the next fragrance again comes from Carlos. Again, I did post this on the community tab. Be sure and check that out. I do post there periodically, and I didn't get like a huge response, but the ones that I did, I do want to highlight. And he said that from my suggestion, he wound up picking up Mont Blanc Legend Night, and it wound up working for him. And guys, I gotta say, this is a beautiful honey tobacco fragrance. Very, very, I don't want to say super sweet, but there is a bit of a sweetness to it with that honey and vanilla in here. But then they get this beautiful tobacco leaf in here, and it's not quite like the Dreamer, with like a wet tobacco leaf, but it is more of a drier tobacco leaf. Don't think of like a pipe tobacco or like pure Havana or Naxos, where you have that, almost cherry pipe tobacco. This is just more of a overall tobacco style fragrance, and it's very, very good, very almost refreshing for a tobacco, kind of fragrance. Perfect for the fall and winter, even into the spring months, but this one just screams fall for me. Absolutely love this stuff, guys. So the next fragrance, this one actually really makes me happy, because I always get a little bit nervous posting, fragrances that, are, well over, $150, because, the average person might not have, a budget for that, but they're so good. I just got to let you know about them. And it looks like, from Toby, at least, looks like Argos Danae wound up working out for them. Now, they said that I was kind of the deciding factor on that. So thank you for that. Thank you for, listening to my suggestion. I'm so glad that this worked out for you, because this is a beautiful, beautiful, creamy, woody, almost velvety, silky, smooth kind of a fragrance. It's got this, Sicilian lemon in the opening. So it has a citrus, but don't think of like a tropical, like fruity kind of a, fragrance, but it does have that brightness in the opening. But then you get Akagala wood, you get guaiac wood. There's just a beautiful, creamy, smooth wood to it with this beautiful tobacco in here. It's don't think of like a, like a pipe tobacco or something like that, but just this almost dark, woody kind of a fragrance with just this beautiful, creamy, silk, velvety smoothness to it. Absolutely amazing. And the bottles themselves are a work of art. But guys, Argos Danae, if you haven't checked this out, definitely recommend it. I do have an affiliate code now. You use the code SimplyFrag10 to get 10% off. And guys, I definitely recommend it. It is so worth the money. This is over $200, but in my opinion, guys, this is definitely worth it. Not only just for the bottle, but guys, just for the experience that you get with Argos fragrances in general, especially with Danae. Very, very strong fragrance, powerhouse kind of a fragrance, but very, very smooth and elegant. So if you guys haven't checked it out, definitely recommend Argos Danae. Right, guys, just a couple more fragrances to get through. I don't want to go too long, but I do want to highlight a couple more from Carlos. He wound up saying, as you guys can tell, that Zaharoff Signature Rosé wound up working for him. And as you can see, I've put a little dent into this, guys, and that's saying something, because with this fragrance, you really don't need more than just a couple sprays. This is a strong, oh man, this stuff is so good. This is a very, very strong fragrance, guys. But this one makes me really happy, because it shows that people can get out of maybe their comfort zone and try something a little bit different. This is a very rose dominant fragrance, and for a man to wear something like that, it kind of, one, you have to be comfortable, but two, you kind of have to maybe stretch yourself just a little bit. But the great thing about Zaharoff Signature Rosé is, yeah, it is a rose dominant fragrance, but it doesn't smell super feminine. Now, is there a way to make rose smell super masculine? Maybe not, but if there ever was, this is definitely one to give it a run for its money, guys. There's a masculine quality behind this, with maybe like the depth and the richness of this fragrance, guys. It is absolutely phenomenal. You get different styles of roses in here. You do get I want to say it's want to say there's plum in this one. I do get like this almost like juicy kind of, I don't want to say super fruity, but there is like this deep, juicy kind of like fruity vibe to this, but not like tropical or anything like that, but there's just like a depth that this fragrance has, and it's absolutely fantastic. And so strong, but so good, guys. Zaharoff Signature Rosé. If you haven't tried it, guys, definitely recommend trying this one. All right, guys, so the next fragrance that worked out comes from my buddy Jerry. He's been with me pretty much this whole time. Me and him go way back to the beginning of this channel, so really do appreciate his support. But one that worked out for him that I suggested, as you can tell, guys, coming from the house of Mandarina Duck, and I don't know why people don't talk about this anymore, guys. This is Mandarina Duck Black, and this is just a very casual, easygoing fragrance that I just don't see how people couldn't love. I don't know why people don't talk about this, guys. It's got vanilla. It's got some woody attributes to it. There's a little bit of tobacco in there. There's a lot of tonka bean in the dry down. There's this beautiful like orange blossom, kind of orange zesty citrus that comes in the top. It just plays beautiful with that vanilla and the tonka bean. It's just a very easy to go fragrance, guys. I don't see how people wouldn't be able to like this. Like I said, it is kind of almost a dumb reach fragrance, really. It's kind of all year round, anytime, any season. If I had to put a category on it, maybe spring and fall would maybe be the best times for it, just because it does have some of that tonka bean and woody facets that if it gets super hot might be a bit much. But honestly, with the citruses and the vanilla and the orange blossom in there, I do think that it really is an all year round fragrance. But guys, this is a cheapie gem. If you haven't tried this, you can get it off Amazon all day long for around 25 to 30 bucks. And guys, this stuff, it's kind of a powerhouse for what it is. I get anywhere from 8 to 10 hours, and I'll do 5 or 6 sprays, but realistically, guys, it's going to stick with you all day. At least that's my experience with this fragrance, and I'm really glad that Jerry was able to try this out, and I'm really glad that it worked out for him, because this stuff is amazing. If you haven't checked it out, guys, Mandarina Duck Black, definitely recommend it. All right, guys, so the next fragrance comes to us from our very own Greta. Me and Greta have a pretty good relationship. We talk pretty often, and she's a really awesome person, so very kind. Me and her, we've sent several different samples back and forth, and one that I know I put her onto, in her comments, she said a bunch of Zaharoff and Creeds, but I know we did a live stream together, and she was really fascinated with this bad boy right here. This is Creed's Original Santal. She actually really enjoyed this, guys. You're gonna get a heavy dose of creamy sandalwood in this one. And man, it's just so good. It's so creamy, so light, very inoffensive. I don't really see how people wouldn't like this. Now, there is the Mont Blanc individual, and there honestly are pretty similar. Like, if you're very nitpicking, pulling hairs, there might be a slight difference in the opening, maybe, but even myself, I have both of them, and I've put them side by side, and they're pretty darn good. So if you do want to try Original Santal, definitely recommend it. Or you can even go with Mont Blanc individual. I don't think you'd be disappointed. It has this kind of creamy sandalwood, and I don't want to say barbershop, but there is almost like this warm shaving foam kind of vibe to it. It's absolutely phenomenal. I know an individual, you do get that raspberry in there. With this, I don't get any raspberry at all. I just get this smooth, creamy sandalwood, and it's very good, guys. Like I said, not quite a barbershop style fragrance, but it does kind of have that warm shaving foam kind of vibe to it. But anyways, I don't know if she picked it up, but I do know that she really liked it, and the sample that I got, I know that she's been wearing it. So for at least Greta and myself, we can both recommend Creed's Original Santal. Right, guys, at the last fragrance, I had to go with the fragrance that I'm most known for. I don't know what it is about this fragrance, guys, but I am the face for this fragrance. Like, whenever people wear this, they think of me. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten people that they send me their scent of the day, and it just happens to be Mont Blanc Starwalker. So for almost everyone on the list, they actually mentioned Starwalker. So Proverbs 27:9, my buddy John, he said this. I know that Brian said this, and a few others said this as well, guys. But if you have not checked out Mont Blanc Starwalker and you watch my channel, what are you doing? This stuff, this is my baby. I absolutely love this stuff, guys. Super citrusy, fresh, zesty. It's got this beautiful bamboo note in here. There is a bit of a white musky kind of undertone to it. It is just it is a dream of a fragrance, guys, especially if you live in, an area where there's a lot of high heat and humidity for the summertime. This is definitely something you need to have in your arsenal. Guys, we're talking between 20 to 25 bucks. You can find it all day long. Discounted sites, Ross's, TJ Maxx, Burlington. If you guys have those, check that out. I see them in there all the time still. It has been discontinued, but it's still readily available, guys. I see them all the time. If you haven't checked this out, guys, I highly recommend checking this out. I can't tell you how many people that I've got put onto this fragrance, guys. 20 to 25 bucks. You really can't go wrong, guys. Mont Blanc Starwalker, you guys need to check it out. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Really do appreciate that. Guys, like I said, these are fragrances that I've recommended in the past, and people have really grown to enjoy these, and they really did work out. So that's such an honor that I'd be able to suggest something that you guys wind up picking up. You listen to me, and it works out. So thank you guys so much for, doing that and trusting me, and I'm so glad that it worked out. Now, is everything always going to be that way? No. But for the most part, guys, these fragrances that I've recommended, if you haven't checked out, I really think that this could work out for you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for, like I said, listening to my suggestions, and I'm so glad that worked out. But leave a comment down below, guys, if there's something that I left off the video, or if you didn't see the community tab, that comment, guys, comment something down below that I've recommended and it actually wound up working for you. I'd be super curious to see and to talk with you about that. So anyways, guys, leave a comment down in the comment section. I'm going to catch you there. I'm also going to catch you on the next video. And remember, if you love it, wear it.